We've got some good news. Well, good news perhaps for ABSA shareholders. An 8% rise in interim headline earnings. That was to $6.49. This primarily as bad loans declined. The shares of ABSA, though, have fallen by more than 4% in early trading today on the back of this news. The good news is we have Maria Ramos, the Chief Executive of ABSA, on the line to us now on a very busy day. And a busy day for yourself and your parent, Maria. I guess the timing, a little unfortunate. Barclays coming out in London to say that it's raising or going to shareholders for the third biggest rights issue ever in its history, £5.8 billion. And here in South Africa, you declare a special dividend. So us suspicious types say, why are you giving Barclays all this money?
Well, Alec, I think just a few things. First, we had already, I think, signaled quite clearly to the market in February that we were considering what to do with capital that we had. We had said to the market, I think as clearly as we could in February, that we were considering returning some capital to shareholders, and so it had nothing to do with what Barclays announced today. I don't think we could have made it more clear in February than we did.
Certainly helps them, though. 4.67 billion rand they'll be getting from ABSA, if my numbers are correct. So they might have had to have an even bigger rights issue if it wasn't for your support.
No, I don't think that's how. I don't think that's how it works. And I think the other thing you need to consider is that that's not quite how the ABSA board operates, and that's not how we make decisions about how to pay dividends either.
That's important. How does the ABSA board operate in a case like this? Because,
let's just make, I suppose, importantly to remind ourselves that ABSA is separately capitalized, and we have got strong capital and have had strong capital for quite some time now. We are a very cash generative business, and we've been that for quite a while. And so even after we've made this dividend payment and the special dividend, we are still going to end up with a common equity tier 1 ratio, which is above the board's common equity tier 1 ratio guidance, and so we're going to be in a strong capital position going into the future. So our own board here in South Africa and our own business in South Africa and the combined business, which is regulated primarily by the South African Reserve Bank, looks at capital and the capital we need in order to grow the business and to sustain the business, and looks at that and says, can we afford to pay dividends? Is this business sufficiently well capitalized, and makes a decision on that basis.
That's fully understood. I've been covering banks, though, for 30 years, and I can remember a lot of rights issues, a lot of times that banks have had to go to shareholders and ask for additional capital. I can't remember too many times when they've paid special dividends, but perhaps you can refresh my memory on that.
Well, I can't, off the top of my head, refresh your memory on that, because we didn't go and have a look and when was the last time a bank paid a special dividend, although I think there has been a couple of times I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. There probably is a couple of times when banks have had excess capital that they've paid. I just know that we have been in a strong capital position, and we've had this conversation a couple of times, both with our own shareholders, importantly with our own board, and with our own regulator, and we've been able to return capital to shareholders because we well capitalized, and we've got sufficient capital for our own business needs and to grow our business well into the future. And as I said earlier, even after this, we will still be in a position where we're well within our board guidelines.
It's interesting. We're talking about the special dividend, and it's R7.08. The market, or your shareholders, were actually hoping for more, according to the reports that we're getting from the wire services, they were expecting it to be as high as 8 Rand a share. So it's a contrasting conclusion that the market came to this morning and dropping your share price by 4%. Does that disappoint you when you have a look at the operating results, which actually look pretty solid?
No, I mean, I think again I think it signaled to the market as well as we could that we were looking at returning capital, that we were considering a special dividend. We obviously couldn't be very specific about the quantum of that special dividend, but it was always going to be more or less in the region of 6 billion rand. And I think what we have indicated today and what we have done today is paid a special dividend. I think our ordinary dividend is up 11%, which is above our headline earnings. And I think we've also indicated today that we think that into the future we are in a position, we think, to continue paying solid dividends. And I think that that's important.